Welcome back. I have Selena here with me because we are so excited to do more squaring with you. We've been doing a lot of squares. We've transformed squares, we've labeled and found the values of squares, we have even algebraically labeled squares. And so today we're going to be working more with squares and looking at the parts, but instead of starting with a fixed square, like our 5 square, we're going to start with a sum. Do you remember what a sum is?
The answer to an addition question.
Yeah, a sum is an answer to an addition problem. So say we have the equation 5 plus 3, the answer to that is a sum. So 5 plus 3, 8. But we're going to be squaring a sum. And so that looks a little bit different. I'm going to show you with bead bars, and then I'll show you also in your journal so you can see how to do problems. So let's clear off our workspace here. Whoa, I think I've the wrong button. I think I've got a lot of stuff that's going to be in the way though. So let's see what we've got. Oh, not too bad. I just have the bead bar box here, and I have the box with the checkerboard numbers right there. Okay, and some other pieces that are loose. So here we have the 5 and the 3, and we are finding a sum. So we're putting them right there, and we need to have parentheses around them. So remember I said we're squaring a sum? We need to have that squared. 5 plus 3 squared. So what this means when you square something, what does it mean when you square something? Like what is, like when I look at the 5 square, what does 5 square mean?
5 times 5.
5 times 5. So when I write this equation right here, 5 plus 3 squared, what I'm actually saying is 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 3, right? We're multiplying this sum times itself. This squared equals this. Okay, so let's think about what this means. This means that this is everything inside here times 5 plus everything in here times 3. Okay, I know that you're probably thinking, I don't know what you're talking about, Miss Chris, but we're good sports and we're going to keep playing along with you. So what I want you to see here is we're going to multiply our first numbers first. Let's isolate this. So we're going to be multiplying by 5. 5 times 5 is the 5 squared, 5 squared. Now we're going to multiply our 3 times 5. 3 times 5. We have 1, 2, 3 5s, right? 3 times 5, there's 3 5s. Okay, now let's cover our 5 and show our 3. Now we've got to multiply everything by 3. 3 times, or 5, no, sorry, other way around. 3 times 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and now we have 3 times 3.
9.
The 3 squared. Okay, now we can solve this because this is just a binomial. Okay, let's find the values of these. Okay, what is the value of the 5 square?
25.
We're just going to put the numbers on there. I know you know that it's 5 squared, but we also know that 5 squared is 25. Let's write it on the back side. It's kind of nice to be able to see them both at the same time.
That's 52.
It's 5 squared.
Oh.
That's a square.
Okay.
5 squared. Okay, and this over here is, I don't like the way I did that. So I want you to forgive me that these ones here, this ended up being 3 times 5, but it should have been 5 times 3. I noticed it when I laid them down. That's why you saw me pause when I put the pink ones down, because it felt weird. It was 5 3s, and then down here it was 3 5s. I don't know if you noticed that I paused. You can rewind it and listen to me talk funny if you want. I didn't realize I did it until I got here, and then I didn't like it. Okay, so what we have here is 3 times 5. And we know the value of 3 times 5.
15.
15. Okay, now we've got this one down here. This is the 5 bar taken 3 times. 5 times 3. We know what the value of 5 times 3 is.
15.
15. And last but not least is our little pink square, the 3 square. What's the value of 3 square?
9.
9. Okay. There are all of our parts. Now we're going to list out, I'm going to write out the equation here so that you can see how to write this. I'm hoping my paper is big enough. Okay, we started with 5 plus 3 squared. I'm going to move that over so I can write here. We started with 5 plus 3 squared. When we split that out into the 2 equations, we ended up with 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 3. When we distributed or shared out our first term, which is the 5, we ended up with 5 squared, 5 times 5, plus 5 times 3. Then we distributed the 3, so we had 3 times 5. And we added 3 times 3, 3 squared. Okay, so let's flip our values over. What was 5 squares value? 25. And then we had this one up here, 15. And then we have 5 times 3 down here,
They're always upside down.
15.
That one was.
And 3 squared is 9. Okay, let's add all of these up. Start with our units. I see 5, 10, 15 plus 9
Is 24.
24. I'll hold the 2 in our mind. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 64. Let's check our work. What square did we build?
The 8 squared.
The 8 square. Is that the value of 8 square?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so what I hope you noticed here is that it wasn't any harder. We just called it something new. We called it 5 plus 3 squared. This is the 5 plus 3 squared. I bet you didn't know that a binomial could be called that way. It's the 5 square plus the 3 square. 5 plus 3 squared.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. Okay, can you tidy up, put the beads away? And I'm going to bring my journal out and show you how to do this follow-up in your journal. Here's the rest of those. All of those go in this box. Okay, so here is your journal. And so I'm going to draw just the one we just did together. So I'm going to write in here, and I'm going to write it big. You can write it big, I guess, if you want to, but I would go smaller if I were you. I'm going to do it big so you can see me. 5 plus 3 squared. Squared means that it's multiplied by itself, so we have 5 plus 3 times 5 plus 3. Now we distribute out those parts. I'll draw the picture as we talk about it. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was 5 times 5, the 5 square. And then we multiplied our 5 times our 3. 5 times 3. And we put those right here. We have the 5 bar times 3. 1, 2, 3. And those are bars, not a rectangle. There they are. And this is 5 times 3. And then we've distributed out the 5 everywhere. So now we're going to do the 3. 3 times 5. So I've got a 3 bar times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 3 bar times 5. And now we're distributing the 3 times the 3. 3 times 3 is 3 squared. And there's our 3 square. And now we can see we've got the 5 square plus the 3 square. There it is. Okay, now let's solve this. 5 squared is what? Oh, hang on. I want to show you what we can do here. We have 5 squared plus, we have 5 times 3 and 3 times 5. They're the same thing. So we can say 2 times 3 times 5. We have 2 3 times 5s. There they are. That makes a little bit less work to show. Okay, 5 squared is 25. Then if we look here, 5 times 3 is 15 times 2.
30.
Plus 3 squared.
9.
Okay, let's add it together. Now we've got a 9 plus a 5.
Which is 14. And we have our 3.
We've got 1 in our mind, plus 3 is 4, and 2 more. 6. 64. That's how you would write this in your journal. So I would like you to do a couple more. I'd like you to do this one that we did together and 2 more. It might take you onto the other page. It depends on how big you do. But I think you should write a little bit smaller than I did. I just wrote big so you could see it on the camera. But for you, like I said, I recommend you just using 1 square tall letters instead of 2 square tall letters for your work. I'm going to color mine the same color as the bead bars so that helps me remember that it's a 5 and a 3, and I recommend you do the same. Okay, I can't wait to see your follow-up. I look forward to seeing it. You can copy the one I did and then do 2 more. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.